Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Perry Richardson from Striper, and you're watching Show Me Your Pick with Fruitcake Tony. Rock on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's happening?
What's happening?
Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Hey, everybody in the chat. How are you guys, man?
Show me your pick on Saturday night. Hope everyone's doing good.
Yep.
It's
Doing
hot
good
in the
here.
Carolinas, Tony. It's hot, man.
Doing good on the East Coast. It's cooling off. You guys are hot down there, huh?
Yeah, it's hot.
It's brutal. Brutally hot.
Luckily, we only had a couple of days in the 90s, but now it's in the 70s. It's in the 50s at night, so it's perfect sleeping weather.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Welcome, everyone.
How's everybody's week been?
Busy.
Yeah, busy.
Yes, very.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the theme. Busy. Trying to get everything done before summer's over, right? I can't believe it's going to be August tomorrow.
I know. Man, I got a Judas Priest show coming up, and it's the precursor to a really, really good Guns N' Roses Wolfgang Van Halen show. I am dying. We're like 6 weeks out, Tony. 7 weeks, 6 weeks? It's getting close, man.
It's getting there. Yeah.
I haven't heard any real good live music in almost, God, it's been more than a year and a half.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
That's okay. We're coming out big time, baby. That's what we're doing.
When's Judas Priest?
It's the 13th or the 12th. I can't remember which day.
August?
I think September.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been seeing Priest just days before Gang and Guns N' Roses.
Nice.
September's the month, man. Heavy metal September, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've got Kiss here August 28th.
Oh, that's cool.
On a Saturday.
Nice.
Great show.
So there'll be some sort of pre-show live stream, but there will not be a show me your pick. But that's
unless Tony gets one live, and then if you get one live, I'm sure you're going to be broadcasting live. Hey, look, show me your pick. I'm showing you my pick.
That's it.
I was going to say, yeah, will you show us your pick then?
Of course he will. You know, that'll be cool. I know you're going to walk home with one, Tony, or two or three.
Our
Yeah, the question is just how many, right?
Our seats are kind of close, but
yeah, but you know, you're
it's always a long shot.
You're the pick guy. He'll hit you with one. He'll go, hey, weren't you the guy that I gave my first pick to? He'll be like, yeah, that's me.
No, that was for Tony. No, you give it to Tony.
Just right on it for Tony.
You know, like when they give it to a little kid and he's like, and the guys like jump off the stage. No, that was for that kid.
Yeah.
Like, that was for Tony.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's gonna be awesome. It will be awesome. Yeah.
Guys, we're talking about heart, man.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Fantastic band. Long time
Who's
too.
here? Who's
Go ahead.
here in the chat, Brandon?
Let's take a look. We got BC Rich 581.
What's going on, BC?
We've got Dan of New Jersey.
Dan, man, how you doing, bro?
Hey, Dan. Hey, BC.
Janice Lala's here. Hey, Janice.
Hi,
Hey,
Jan.
man.
We got Keith H. Nightbot's here.
What's up?
Oh, Nightbot.
Sandra
Nightbot.
Picorni. Sandra Picorni.
Hey, Sonny.
Sandra.
Got Sony. Sonia. Where Sony from?
Hey, Sonia.
Hey,
Uh,
Sonia.
Got
Nice.
Taylor Green. And look who just joined, Tony. Tyler Thomas, who we
There
Tyler,
you got
my
some
man.
we got some
Tyler,
things to
dude.
talk about Tyler.
Oh yes, Lord.
And Jeff K just joined.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
There's some more people in here. I saw some people join earlier. James Gum. So, and everybody else. Chris Sawa's here. Everybody
James,
else
Chris, what's going on, guys?
popping
Dudes,
in.
What's up?
Welcome everybody.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see everybody. So yeah, man. They're strolling in, listening. You're gonna have a good show tomorrow night too, Tony. I know. So it's gonna be a good weekend. Good weekend for Fruitcake Tony's channel, folks.
Here tomorrow night, Mr. Tyler Thomas, who has won our trivia a few times, went to the opening night of the Wolfgang 2021 tour in Lawrence,
That is
Kansas.
so cool.
And yeah, it is quite a story, and he will be with us here tomorrow night.
I can't wait, Tyler, to hear this story, man.
Yeah, that'll be
Can't
cool.
wait.
Cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
It will be nice. Yes.
nice, Tyler.
But
All right.
so Heart, folks. 1967 they formed. Before Ann and Nancy Wilson joined. You know?
I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, it was called the Army.
Yeah.
Steve Fossen and
Right.
Roger Fisher, and then Don Wilhelm and Ray Schaefer. And they played a few years in Washington area, near Seattle. And then the sisters joined later on, you know. And then they called themselves Hocus Pocus, and then White Heart, and then Heart. So,
You know, they had a real when the girls joined them, their theme changed from a folk rock kind of a
right.
background. They had sort of a gypsy element about them. I remember as early as 74, I was like 13 years old. And Heart was big, 74, 75, 76, 77. They were huge.
Yeah.
They were straight up to 80. And that's when they started to decline. But when I was 13 or 14 years old, their Heart was on TV. They were showing television. They would show late night. You would see video clips from concerts. There was no MTV in those days.
Right.
So I was telling the guys backstage earlier, one of my biggest regrets about the band Heart is there's no MTV videos about the old days, the pre-80 days. They're basically what I consider their heyday. And they did redesign themselves in 85 and all through the 90s, 95 up to almost 2000, I believe. Awesome videos. You know, they sort of reinvented themselves.
They did. I mean, they were
Yeah.
in my mind, they were a lot. When I say a lot, they were a little harder back then. You know, they were a little bit lighter in the 80s when they had all the videos. You know, What About Love and Never Alone. All those were kind of like ballady type things. And I'm blurry again.
Well, it was interesting because the boys in the band were rockers. They were rockers, man. And I believe it was Seattle was where they were from, Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, north of Seattle.
And those brothers were known as rockers. And they gave, it's interesting. The one element that was the icing on the cake was those girls were so talented, but the rock music behind their vocals and their songwriting ability was outstanding. And it was interesting because they ended up, breaking up in the late 70s, around 79. There was turmoil in the band, and by the 80s, they were looking at a new lineup. They were changing members, and their original heyday was coming to an end. And I miss the old Heart just even more than I do the new Heart, and the new videos that they came out with. And I say the new Heart, the rebirth of the Heart.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough in 1980, the very first show that I ever worked for security was Heart at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Cool.
And it was at the very first show I ever worked. And the very first rock star I ever met was Nancy Wilson.
Oh, wow.
And that was in the 80s. It was at the end of that whole almost a decade run of really awesome music. They were huge. They were huge in the 70s. And I love that band.
There was a ton of people, like past members. Gilby Clarke even played with them,
Yeah, do you see the list of past members?
Yeah, it's insane. It's like 20-25 people.
Long.
It's monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, they span a long way, and it's broad,
Yeah.
And they're very talented. I don't know if it was Behind the Music or one of those documentary shows, because Ann was actually the one that started playing guitar. Her mom bought her a guitar.
Yeah.
And she wasn't that good at it, and Nancy used to sneak it out and play.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're better than me. You should probably play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was
girl version of Eddie and Alex.
Yeah, right.
Right, female version of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's they've influenced a lot of people. They're, back then, you didn't see a lot of women-fronted bands. Like some of the like Lizzie Hale. I think she got started because of Heart.
It's interesting you said Lizzie Hale, because I was thinking about Lizzie Hale just today when I was doing comparisons to Nancy.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was trying to compare who would I compare to today, and Lizzie Hale was the first name that came to my mind.
Yeah, it's a big influence of hers. That was the reason she got into music.
Very cool.
Did I ever tell you guys? I can tell this real quick since we're on air. I don't think I ever told you guys this. So I had no idea who Hailstorm was. Like, this is a bunch of years ago. I'm raising kids. I'm like,
right.
Either at work and coming home to my kids, or for a while I was a stay-at-home dad. When I was still married, and I go to this gas station and I see these group of people in a van. And when you see a rock band, you can tell. Like, they look like some of them had their stage gear on.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And it was Hailstorm in a van going up to a festival. I live in Pennsylvania, so going up to a festival at Reading. They have big festivals at Reading, and there's racetracks and stuff. This was years ago, and and it was Lizzie Hale and the guys there, and she was just like, yeah, we're an up-and-coming band, whatever, and they were stopping to get gas at a Wawa gas station. And I never realized until years later that was them. She's like, yeah, check out our band Hailstorm. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think anything of it until they got really big. And then I was like, oh, holy shit, I met that girl. And
that's awesome. Yeah, she
still looks pretty young for her age, I think, but she looked really young, man.
Yeah.
The dudes already looked kind of big, and I'm like, I thought it was like, is this your little sister or something? Like, no, that's our that's our singer.
Yeah, her brother. I think her brother's in the band, right?
He's the drummer.
Yeah, because she punched him and she said, "That's my brother."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, we gotta go," and he took off, and I talked to him for maybe 15 seconds, and they left.
She's got a monster voice too.
That's awesome.
Well, she didn't sing for me there in the gas station, but it was, I guess, the brother there, and he was like, "Yeah, no, she's our singer," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
And they're like, "No, she rips. Like, she's she can do it." Like
three there's three girls who came to mind. Nita Strauss didn't come to mind until I thought about it after the fact, but immediately came to mind. I was thinking Nancy and then Lita Ford.
Yep.
And I went to Lizzie Hale.
Yep.
And I don't know why I left Nita out, but I did. And I thought about it later. But those are the four girls who stand out in my mind as full shred, serious.
And Lizzie,
yeah.
Sorry, guys. Lizzie and Nita are kind of like that next generation of bringing it in. He'll be curious to see how it goes in 10 or 15 years, and hopefully continues that. Women rocking their ass off.
Exactly.
I mean, Nancy shreds on an acoustic.
Well, the last time I saw Nancy
was on an electric too.
Oh yeah.
Shred on
the last time I saw
guitar player.
Did you see the one Did you see the one? I think it was at the Whiskey, or it was one of those places. Because from working there, you said they're all pretty close. But it was with Nancy, and then Nuno got on stage.
Yes.
And he was so humbled. You could tell he's a big fan. He goes, "Do you want me to play bass? Do you want to play guitar?" She's like, "Honey, play whatever you want. It's fine." And she was, I forget if she was singing or did she have an acoustic, or she might have just been singing. But she had an acoustic. Okay, yeah. But in that small club, and it was you could hear the acousticness of her voice before they started. She's warming up real quick, and her voice, because the mic is close, is almost louder than the PA in the background. I'm like, wow, that's coming literally from here, not from the PA.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Space. I'm like, whoa. And Nuno keeps going like this because he's not really ever having to look at his guitar, and he keeps going.
Yeah.
You can see him. He's like, holy shit, I'm on stage with her.
I'm not sure if that was at the Whiskey. I believe it was.
Okay, it was one of the places I know.
Well, the sisters have had they were there in 80. The first show, as I said, the first show I ever worked at the Whiskey Go-Go was Heart.
Yeah.
Then they came back again when I was there at the end of 81.
Yeah.
And
show, she just got up on stage.
Well, they have a long history with that club.
Really?
Mario. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
And so I believe it was there, but I don't want to say for sure.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, it was just seeing her and Nuno and that. It was like the student with the teacher kind of thing. Like, oh, you have all this experience and you've done all this stuff. I'm just going to watch. I can play the hell out of a guitar, but I can't do what you're doing right now.
My God, man.
She's just belting it out,
It's unbelievable.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was 2018.
Yeah. But Nuno's got this smile that's like this high. It's going the whole way up his head. He's like he's just loving it, It's great.
Yes. It was Lucky Strike.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, that makes sense because I knew it was the same place that Pete Thorne played, and I think that would have been the Lucky Strike. Is that the one that was also or used to be a bowling alley?
It's in LA, I guess. I don't know.
It either used to be a bowling alley or has a bowling alley next door or something. Is that the right one?
I think so.
Pete Thorne talked about it because he played there with it was kind of like a super group of session musicians. John Button was playing with him, if you know who that is, and it was Pete Thorne, and then I think what's his name from Skid Row? I'm blanking now. Singer Sebastian Bach. He was singing vocals, and they did "Hang 'Em High."
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
You can see if you just Google "Hang 'Em High" Lucky Strike, and Pete Thorne nails that opening riff, man.
He's such a good guitar player.
That's for tomorrow night.
That is cool.
Cool. Very cool.
Who was that he used to play with? Melissa Etheridge, right?
Yeah, and what's his name? Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
And then he played toured with Don Henley too.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell is the one that inducted them in the Hall of Fame, 2013.
Oh wow.
So that was
Peter's he's so
he's so humble too because you know who he played with in France, and I'm not a big fan, but in France she's like the female Michael Jackson, Mylène Farmer. She's like the female equivalent of Michael Jackson in France. She can't go anywhere. She's that famous of a pop star, and he just got called at the last minute because who's the guy that Pete Thorne knows? He's the guitar player for years. You'll probably know his name, Charles. For Paul McCartney, he got the Paul McCartney gig, which never opens up. You know what I mean? Gibson Guitars did a thing at his house. He has a Les Paul shaped pool.
Yes. It's on the tip of my tongue, man.
And you know that gig plays well because I think he has 259 bursts. but he's a great guitar player.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you know who I mean.
Devin Townsend.
So that's who he replaced.
That's who was supposed to do the Milan Farmer gig, I think. And he said he basically said call Pete Thorne because they're good friends.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Good for Pete.
He's just, I think Pete Thorne's so humble, he puts himself here. But I think all the guys in LA working in the studio and working in the music business know he's up here. You know what I mean? But he's such a sweet guy. I mean, you know, I wasn't surprised when I found out he was Canadian. I was like, well, that makes sense. Like, he's just such a sweetheart. He comes from a small town in Canada. I think he said his dad used to own like a used car dealership, you know, and like his mom, I forget, she was either like a librarian or homemaker or teacher or something like that. Real nice family kind of, you know. And then he came to LA to go to GIT and never left.
Yep.
Anyway.
Wow. I love him, man.
So Tony, you get anything good in the mail over the week?
I get some picks.
He's got to have something. I know you got something.
Yeah,
he's looking. I see him. I see the reflection in those glasses.
Yeah, what we got?
Is that the giveaway? Nice. Very nice.
I like the cursive, the writing.
That's a nice pick, bro.
That is a nice pick.
There it is. That's cool. The full color side. You don't. I mean, I don't know because I don't collect as many millions of picks as Tony. But Tony, do you see that a lot? Like the full color, like that orange. That looks very unique.
Yeah.
Do you see those a lot? Okay.
It's red.
There you go. I had no idea. Oh, it's red.
Yeah.
Well, I'm colorblind, so.
No, it looks orange from here too, Tom.
Oh, it does?
It's just
It's just the.
All right. So, a couple of new things.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Look at the war pig.
That is awesome.
Mr.
Wow.
Phil Campbell.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Nice, Tom.
Very cool.
So check it.
Oh, I know what I got to tell you guys now. I got to tell you about a big score I got this week that Analog Kid will appreciate.
Rick Emmett.
Man, I can't believe that.
It has to do with vinyl. I got lucky this week.
Is it an old vinyl?
Do you go thrift store shopping for vinyl, Analog Kid, or no?
Not anymore.
I gave up for a while.
I kind of have everything I want. I'm trying to get rid of shit, but
well, your collection is what mine used to be before I lost mine.
Mine's just beyond ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm trying to rebuild mine, but I went, and you know how normally it's like, you can find 13 copies of Herb, what's his name in his Tijuana band.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Or
the girl with the cream on her.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or if you want like really moldy, stinky classical music.
That's great.
Those are usually if I want the music. If it's like I picked up some Handel and some Dvorak and Stravinsky last time, but I'll take the records out and say, you guys can keep the sleeves. I don't want them because they smelled so bad. Literally, I don't want to take them even in my car. But what I scored this week, listen, 99 cents a piece.
Nice.
What? Wow.
Do you want to see what I scored, or do you just want me to tell you?
No, I want to see it.
Got to see it.
Some of them are not in great condition on the outside, but almost all of them are like, a couple are almost mint, but almost all of them are like really good, you know, not collector, but for a player. I just love them for playing them. You know, I'm not really a collector. They're like, you know, as far as scratches, it's nothing that you would hear, maybe a little pop, but the condition's insane. And my buddy who went with me.
Of the vinyl or the cover?
No, the covers on some of them are crap, but whoever did it must have cleaned them and took care of them because they're in amazing condition, but they're all originals from like the 70s and 80s and that kind of stuff, you know. I'll get them real quick. But anyway, so some of them on the outside aren't that great, but I think what's happened in my area lately is people will pass away or move away, or a parent will get taken to a retirement home, you know, and the kids don't want them, and so they just dump them at Goodwill.
Right.
Because this was a very specific set of musicians this person collected. So I'll get it real quick what I have. That's awesome.
Cool. Anymore.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Talking Benny Moore, man.
Yeah. Very nice.
Nancy Wilson signed a flag to me. I forgot to bring it tonight. I forgot about that.
Oh, wow.
That's a great piece of memorabilia, bro.
Yeah, I've seen them a bunch of times, but one time she did a solo gig in Boston at the Paradise, and that was probably one of the more memorable shows I saw them do.
Where is it at? Is it in your house?
No. It's in a book in my ex-wife's house. I have a book full of all kinds of signed stuff.
Let me show the giveaway again. Right there. Okay.
Yes.
Nice, man.
So let's get back.
I think I have a picture of it.
Very nice.
All right.
Have they said they're gonna? Have they said they're gonna tour again? Art.
Yeah, they are.
I think so, right?
Doing dates this month.
I think they're gearing up for something.
Doing solo dates right now.
Right.
But I saw Nancy Wilson do a solo acoustic show in Boston once in a sold-out Paradise, and that was one of the more memorable shows I ever saw. And she signed that for me after the gig.
She's amazing.
That's so
just
cool.
her on stage with tons of incense burning.
Yeah.
And very low lighting. Like it was the lowest fi show you've ever seen in your life. Just her with a guitar. That's it. Acoustic
That's
guitar.
all you need.
With tons of incense.
When was this?
March 17th, 1999. St. Patrick's Day, 99 at the Paradise. One-off gig in Boston. Solo.
All right, you ready?
Really cool show.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you got,
I'll go
Tommy?
from the back. Let's see. So first, I got some Richard Strauss. It's gonna go to rock music soon. Don't worry. Haydn. I love rock music though too. So
Getting your classical on. I like that.
I got this as kind of a funny thing because my buddy was like, "That might be worth some money." I'm like, "No, it's not that good of condition. I don't think it's really worth that much." But I thought it was funny because I always thought it was hilarious. So I had to pick up the Ruddles.
Nice.
Ruddles.
You know, it's got the whole. See, it's not in great condition inside. It looks like it had moisture damage, but it's got the whole booklet and everything.
That's cool.
Oh, man.
At first, I picked it up and I thought I was scoring the Beatles, and then I went, "Oh shit!" Neil Young.
Nice.
Nice.
99 cents each, too. Dire Straits.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a good record. Some girls.
Stones, yep. With the,
Hold the thing.
yeah.
Hold the thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, hold on, let me get it. It's slipping.
Dude.
That's excellent.
99
Uh,
cents.
I can't get it to, there you go.
There you go.
What's the vinyl look like inside?
Oh, the vinyl's really good. I don't want to take it out now because it's this way and then that way. Pain in the balls. But they were all pretty good. The only one that wasn't great, but I had to get it because I love this album.
Jeff Beck, man.
Jan Harmon Live. So good. Those two together. Traffic.
Nice.
Another great one. So this was obviously one man or one woman who their child, their wife, their husband, or them themselves maybe, and they just got rid of everything because it was not there last week. And my friend and I went one day and we were like, tour. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
cover.
Gil Scott Heron.
99 cents for these.
All 99 cents. And some of them are double LPs. Creedence Clearwater Live.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good album right there.
And there was some I didn't get. There was a ton. There was another 3 or 4 Beach Boys originals and all this stuff, but they were really jacked up. Maybe I should have just got them for 99 cents because of the cases were, the covers were nice and everything too. And they were first presses. Some of them first, whatever you call it, is it first run or first?
Original pressing.
Original pressing. Thank you. But like I said, I'm buying them to play. So.
Wow,
Nice,
man.
dude. Nice.
I know Jim Croce sometimes can be polarizing, but I like him.
Yeah.
The Birds. Wow.
And,
You're showing me album covers here that I haven't seen in 50, 40 years.
Analog Kid might like smack me on the wrist for this because this is one of those like rock and roll collections, but I do not own any Buddy Holly vinyl, so I got it because
Look at that.
look at the tunes that are on it. How
Wow.
could you not buy that for 99 cents?
Peggy Sue.
Ray Vaughan told me now, Peggy Sue.
Yeah.
Slip and Slide. It's like all the good
So
freaking
square.
tunes,
Wow.
you
Nice.
know?
That's cool.
And so we're going up, we're getting better. So or getting like I was more shocked.
Yeah.
Love
There's some
songs.
Beatles.
Beatles, yep. And then my PSD Resistance with the lyric booklet intact.
Oh, nice.
Whoa, look at this.
Yeah.
And it's in like great condition.
That's a
Gotta
good
make sure
haul.
you have the little prize that comes with it.
That's a pretty good haul, Tommy.
What's the prize? Maybe I don't have the prize. But this is like, although other than, I don't know if the color, it's color faded, but the lyric book is like great condition.
That's cool.
Considering someone probably used it.
That's
So, I mean, and when I say great condition analog kit, I'm sure it's none like the condition of any of your stuff, but I'm saying relative to costing 99 cents.
Not all my stuff. Some of it's VG plus. That's the best I could do at the time. Sometimes you have to take what you can get.
Yeah. I mean, this is just, it looks great though. So that was so it's, 1, 2, 3.
I'm so proud of you, Bent Tom. You went a little vinyl shopping.
So it's 14, did I miss either 14 or 15 albums, and it's actually 18 separate records in total for $13.90, whatever.
That's crazy, man.
86 cents. $13.86. They don't even charge you tax.
Yeah,
it was Goodwill. Yeah,
that's a good haul.
$13.86. They give you I got $1.14 change out of my $15. And all these.
Awesome.
Yeah.
excellent.
So sorry to hijack the show, Tony.
No, not at all.
I figured you guys would appreciate that. It's like when I can get
dude.
stuff I love
awesome,
for cheap.
man.
I love a deal.
It's a music show. That's music.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
And then I did this today. I've been working on this. So this is what I did today. I was really lazy and I was going slow, so that's all I got done on that.
You wired your pick guard? No, it's good.
Nice.
I did, and this is in between like making lunch for a kid and going to do this, and I wired this, but I have to put the neck on my telly.
Oh,
So this is an old telly that these knobs were silver when I got them. It's just I have really acidic sweat, and I played this telly for like 15 years. So I took the original plate where all the shit wore off from me, and this got real corroded and worn off, and I kept the pickup. I kept the bridge, and I kept the body. But my son, when he was younger, my older son had kind of had fun in the body a little. But it only goes in about, it's like between an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch. So I might eventually have that filled. But this is an old piece of wood I bought from a guy in Virginia that he had wood he sold out of a tobacco barn. He came up to the Philly guitar show. He used to sell guitar bodies. And I said, where do you get your wood? He said, I buy it from tobacco barns in Virginia. And I bought this body for $89. It's a piece of ash. And you can see even with the stuff in, it's super light. I think it's solid ash, and it's 3 pounds, 2 ounces, before all the hardware. So it makes for a super light telly, but just really great sounding telly. And then the pickups I put in were, there's a guy, he's a guitar player, but he also makes pickups named Jimmy Wallace. Familiar with Jimmy Wallace? Plays blues. Great guitar player. Like professional blues guitar player, but also happens to make pickups. So he was at the Philly guitar show in like 2015. I picked this up, and this guitar actually used to be Mary Kay White, but I wore it from sweat and just the water sweating and everything, because it was a kind of a soap Mary Kay White finish. It completely almost all wore off, and it turned a brownish color. So I just basically repainted the whole thing this color when I
it's a cool color though.
My Strat. Yeah,
I like that color.
Cool. Great guitar.
Tony, I found it on my phone.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, that's
cool. Signature up on the wings.
Yeah.
Signed it and drew a picture. See the
picture
you drew?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it.
She had darker hair. Wing. Looks like she had darker hair in that.
And she also drew a picture too.
Oh, now I see it clearly. Yeah.
Drew a picture of like a heart and wings.
That's very cool.
Good deal.
That's awesome when they personalize.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. She is great.
My buddy had some Jerry Garcia artwork, and it's like that. It'll be his artwork, but then instead of just signing like Jay Garcia or Jerry Garcia or just Jerry, he would like squiggly little drawing, whatever, and then sign something,
Yeah.
But he bought them back in like the 90s, and they're only like this big, but they're worth like crazy money now. because he bought them like years ago, and Jerry's still alive.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Picasso.
Crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
My friends own a bunch of his original watercolor paintings, and they're all framed in their house and signed.
Yeah, that's what he has. That's what they are. He has a set of
Watercolors,
4.
right?
Yep, he has a set of 4, and they're, like he had them fully authenticated. Like, I'm not paying, because they weren't cheap when he bought them either, but they've just gone up a lot.
No, they weren't cheap when these people bought them.
But he bought them as a set of 4, like they were meant to go together, so they didn't want to split them up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, good investment. It's a fun investment.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Tony, how are those tattoos doing, man? Let me see that Van Halen tattoo. I haven't asked you about that for at least a week.
Nice.
I'm jealous, man.
Nice,
I like that.
man.
You better have a doctor look at that, man. Those stripes are coming out of your skin, brother. It looks good, man. It looks really good.
It certainly does. It certainly does.
So, Charles, do you have any interesting stories about seeing any of the members of Heart, like while you were working or just around the clubs and all like that?
Yeah, I
know you said that was one of the first
a short
celebrities.
story. You want to hear one? A short story?
You can make it as long as
You
you want.
told us a heart story. Tell us a heart story, Charles.
Yeah,
Okay. It's 1980, early 1980, probably March. Yeah, about March of 1980.
So, in the year of our Women and Children First, as it's known, the Holy Album. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, exactly. And I was just out of high school, man. I was young, guys. I was 20 years old, barely. And my friend Dave came by the house. It was a sunny afternoon. He was going to go to join the Air Force. And I was trying to talk him out of it. There was a recruiting office up the road, and he was on his way to go join. And I said, look, man, I'm going to ride with you, and I'm just going to you're not going to the Air Force, bro. You know. And so we're riding up Artesia Boulevard, and my friend Jeff was coming the other direction in his little Toyota truck. And he waved us down. And so we pulled over, and I got out, and I went walking over to him, and I met him. And he said, listen, I met this guy named Mike. And he has a security company. He's looking for some big guys. And he says, Hart is playing the whiskey tonight. And he said, why don't you come with me? He told me to get an extra guy, and you can come work with me, and we'll get to catch a show, because we were big Hart fans. I mean, I've been a Hart fan since I was 13 years old, right? And so I turned around. It was funny because I told the story once before. I literally turned around in the middle of the boulevard, and I looked at Dave. I said, bro, you're on your own. And later, dude, he never joined. Okay, he didn't go to the Air Force. That was the story. But I jumped in Jeff's truck. He took me back home. And a couple of hours later, we went down into Hermosa Beach, right off of Pacific Coast Highway, to this guy named Mike's house. And we were supposed to meet him there, and he was going to drive his car and take us all in a group in his car to the whiskey for the Hart show. And I didn't know anything about security. I didn't know anything about nothing. I had never been to a club in my life. I'd seen a couple of rock concerts. And I'd seen a few rock concerts by that time, but nothing, I didn't know anything. I was really young, you guys. And so we go down to Hermosa Beach. I get out of Jeff's car. We walk up to the apartment where the guy lives. And I walk in the apartment, and Mike is in there. And there's 2 other guys sitting on the couch. And these guys are shooting up steroids. Okay. I had never seen anything like that before. I had never witnessed it. I'd never been around it. I was thoroughly shocked. Okay. I thought it was heroin is what they were shooting up. I didn't even know what it was. And so these guys are pumping steroids into their muscle masses. And there's 2 of them. We'll refer to them for this story as the Royd brothers. Okay. And so Jeff introduces me to Mike. Mike looks, if you were to meet this guy off the street, you would think he was a police officer. He looks like a cop. He looks like a young Robert Urich with a mustache. That's what he looked like. And a real nice guy, sharp, articulate. He's kind of a bodybuilder kind of guy. And then we got the 2 Royd brothers who are shooting, literally pumping steroids into their muscle masses, sitting on a couch, into their pecs. And it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen, guys. And I don't like needles, okay?
No.
So And this story is actually going to end up at heart, so bear with me, okay? Anyway, we're talking about getting to the show, and Mike tells these guys, he said, look, guys, you got to get yourselves ready. We got to get out of here. We got to be at the club by just a little before 6 o'clock. First show was to start at 8, and there was a second show at 10, according to Mike. And so we get out, we come outside of the apartment, we go down to this garage. He opens the garage door, and sitting in this garage, you guys, is a absolutely pristine 69 Chevy Malibu. Beautiful ride. It's Mike's ride, right? Things are looking up. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. So I get in, and I'm sitting in the back seat, I'm sitting between the Royd brothers. My buddy Jeff is in the passenger seat, and Mike's in the driver's seat, and he takes off. We're driving, we're cruising up, we're heading up Pacific Coast Highway. We're coming up across to Artesia Boulevard. We're heading out Artesia to get to Hawthorne to jump on the 405 to head to the Whiskey. The Whiskey A Go-Go from Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach, California is 20 miles away. It's not very far in the scope of thinking about LA County and the massive 90 square mile Los Angeles. It's just a little jaunt. I mean, literally, when I would get off work at the club at 2 o'clock in the morning, I would be home in 35 minutes. I mean, literally. And that's coming from the heart of LA. So it's not that far when you're in Los Angeles to get to places around LA. And especially in 1980 and 81, it was real easy. Okay. It was not even 1/3 the congestion that there is now.
Wow.
So we're cruising, and Mike is listening to the radio, and he's telling us stories. He's talking to me and Jeff, and he's talking to the two Royd buddies. And
Royd buddies.
The Royd guys, all these guys were interested in is their bodies, okay? All they cared about was their muscles and their pecs and how they looked and flexing. And this guy, I'm sitting between these two guys, and I was so out of my element. And these guys are sitting there, and they're flexing and doing this and that. And they're, oh, it feels good. And trying to talk me into doing it and telling me stories and stuff, right? I was young, guys. Anyway, we're getting close to the 405 freeway. And it's at this time now, it's about, we thought, Mike, I said Mike. Now remember, guys, this is 1980. There's no cell phones. There's no time on the dash of his car. He has a wristwatch on. He's the only one with a wristwatch, okay? His watch was wrong. He was almost 30 minutes off. We needed to be at the Whiskey A Go-Go in 32 minutes, okay? It's 5 o'clock traffic on a Friday evening in Los Angeles, okay? We're pulling up to get onto the freeway, and we start. And the reason he found out what time it was, he heard it on the radio, and then he asked somebody in another car to verify what time it was because he realized that he was. So anyway, this whole terror comes over him because he was on thin ice with Mario, who I hadn't met yet. I didn't know who Mario was, but he says Mario's going to kill me. He's going to fire me because I'm going to be late. And he told me not to be late anymore to these shows. This is what this guy does, you guys. We're in traffic and we're trying to get there, and he's driving, he jumps into the left lane, the fire lane, and he's flying up that fire lane at 60 miles an hour. It's gridlock. In Los Angeles, the odds on traveling even 4 or 5 miles in the fire lane at that time of day, the cops will get you. There's so many police. It's ridiculous. In 1980, there were so many police. The odds on being able to do what this guy was doing, I was sitting in the back seat, and I was literally scared to death. And I'm telling myself, I'm getting my story straight so I can tell it to the cops. Yep. Because we're going to be arrested. There's no question. There's no question about it. The police were in my future based on what I was living. Okay. No, it gets better. It gets better. He finally gets to the point where we're in the traffic. We're literally in such gridlock that the cars aren't moving. And he's looking at his clock, and he's getting just freaking nervous, man. He reaches under his seat and pulls out a gold Los Angeles Sheriff's badge.
Wow.
And he throws it up at the lady next to us whose car was blocking us. He says, ma'am, this is a police action. I need you to move your vehicle for me. At that moment, my buddy Jeff turns around and looks me in the eyes with a look of absolute horror. We were out of our element, guys, okay? I had never met any crazy boys like these guys. These guys were nuts, okay? She moves her car for him. Yes, officer, she says. And we're all looking. And even the Royd buddies they were freaking out because they were solid as rocks until then. Now they're getting nervous. And the guy says to me, he goes, Mike, you're not a police officer. He says to Mike, and Mike goes, he just gives him this dirty look. And I said, dude, you're not a sheriff. And I'm doing the math in my head, guys. I'm thinking, geez, my story to the cops is going to get even better now, you know?
Yeah,
he takes off and he goes, guys, he got us to the Whiskey A Go-Go 6 minutes late. We were 6 minutes late. When we finally pulled up on La Cienega Boulevard, I was shaking. I was so flipped out. I couldn't, Jeff was just, we were torn up, okay? And Mike is just solid as a rock. That didn't faze him one single bit. That's the kind of this guy was, right? We pull up and I'm looking across the street and there's the Whiskey A Go-Go sitting there. There's 250 people outside the club on the streets, packed around it. It says on the board, it says Heart, one night only, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And Mike goes, damn, we needed to be here an hour ago. Just like that. And so we pulled in the back of that club and we jumped out. We didn't have our T-shirts yet. He had made us put our T-shirts on. We came down. He had us. The first thing we did before I ever went in that club was take care of that crowd. We put him in order. We got him in, in order. It took a while. He put Jeff at the front door. He put the two Royd buddies spaced out on the stairs, bottom of stairs, top of the stairs, and he walked me back to Charlie and Randy at the backstage door. And he introduced me to him, and I love those guys. I had no idea at that time that I'd be working with them, for the better part of almost 2 years. Well, more than a year and a half in the very near future. I had no idea, right? But it's heart. And so I'm standing with Randy and Charlie, and Charlie says to me, he says, you ever done this before? And I looked at him and I said, no. And I said, bro, you wouldn't believe what I just went through to get here. So I spent the next hour talking with him, telling him the story of what I just went through. So by the time the end of that night came up, me and Charlie and Randy we were chums, man. We hung. I had no idea how close I would get to those boys. But Charlie says to me, he says, listen, he says, this is what you're going to do tonight. He says, I want you to stand up here by this door. And it was Ann and Nancy Wilson's dressing room door. And he says, they're going to be here in a little bit. He says, when you hear a knock at that door, and he points at that black steel door, and he says, when you hear the knock, you got to go answer the door. And I want you to give them your name and tell them, welcome to the Whiskey A Go-Go, and then let them know if they need anything that you will take care of them. You'll make it happen. And he was really nervous. He says, this is Ann and Nancy Wilson for Heart. He says, we got to take care of these guys. Mario loves these girls, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, yeah, because I was stoked, you guys. I had never, ever been into that situation before in my life. I'd never been around rock stars. I'd never been around that kind of club. And it was a really cool environment, Getting there sucked. But once I got there, it was really cool, right? And so anyway, showtime was 8 o'clock. It was getting to be, there was a large VIP list. There were lots of producers, record people. Heart was coming in the 80s. Now, they were coming to the end of their sort of heyday. They were coming to that period of time where they sort of declined. And it was 85 again before they picked up on MTV. I think MTV actually saved the band Heart in many ways because it gave them another vehicle to put their music and videos out as Ann and Nancy Wilson, because before then, their band consisted of they weren't the dominating presence in the band in the beginning. They were,
Charles.
I'll
agree with that.
And but so it's getting to be close to time for the girls to get there, and the boys were already. And here's another thing about that night. It was kind of weird. And again, I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't know what normal was. I didn't know what was the norm. I just know what I was experiencing. And the boys in the band were in the main dressing room. They were in the number one dressing room down at the end of the hallway. And they had me put Ann and Nancy in the secondary band, opening band dressing room. That's a small little room. And there was a segregation going on between the rest of the band and the girls.
Oh, shit.
And it just was. And there was no interaction, guys. There was no Ann and Nancy going down to that room, and there was none of that room coming down to here. I was noticing that right off the bat.
Wow.
And so there was a period of time at one point we had to clear the backstage and get it ready. I was taking all of Charlie and Randy's, tutelage on this. So they were kind of driving the whole deal. And at this point we had the backstage all clear. And the girls were supposed to be there and they weren't there. Okay. Everybody was there, but the girls weren't there. And so there was this knock at the door and Charlie goes, you got to get that. And so I scoot down the stairs and I pull that door open, and standing there all by her lonesome is Nancy Wilson. This is what she's wearing, you guys. You want to talk about the girl next door? This girl is absolutely beautiful. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And she's wearing these little Reebok high tops and Sergio Valente jeans.
Oh.
And this nice little blouse, but she's got a nice tight fitting, really sharp looking black leather jacket on, carrying what ended up being a all black 12-string Ovation in a case, and this leather satchel over her shoulder. And she's standing there all by her lonesome, her hair's up, and she looks at me and I said, "Hi, Miss Wilson. My name is Charles. Welcome to Whiskey A Go-Go. If there's anything I can do for you, I will make it happen." And she says, "Here," and she throws her satchel into my hand. She says, "Come on, I'm late." And she takes off up the stairs. I take off up the stairs with her. She goes in the dressing room. Boom, boom. About 10 more minutes goes by. Everyone's waiting for freaking Ann to get there now because she's really late, right? Boom at the door. I go down to the door. I'm nervous as shit, you guys. I flip the door open and she's standing there, but she's got an entourage with her, right? And she's looking, she's a beautiful lady, man. She ain't no Nancy, but she's beautiful, right? And she's standing there, she's in like a full-length leather jacket, not super heavyweight, but something you'd see in cool weather. It was kind of interesting to me. Just really nice though. And she's got like a makeup artist, a couple of friends, a record guy. There was like 6 people with her, right? And she says to me, and I try the same thing. "Hi, my name is Charles." She says, "Sweetheart, I'm running late." And she just bolts right past me, and they all just boom, 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 boom. I didn't even get half my spiel out to it, but it was cool though, right? Yeah. So I get upstairs, everything's getting ready to go off on the stage, and they didn't have a lot of roadies. You would have thought that the band Heart would have showed up at that club with at least 5 to 6 roadies, I would imagine, and we're talking band members, we're talking the girls, we're talking. I didn't even see like a manager that I remember. But I saw a lot of record people. I saw a lot of celebrities were there. Jeff Goldblum. I was standing in the hallway and I turned around. I looked. There was this really tall dude. He's tall. He's tall. And I said, "My God, that's Jeff Goldblum." I love Jeff Goldblum. What's his name was there? God, he played Iron Man. Downey Jr. that night. Yeah. Juliette Lewis was there.
Oh, wow.
Sandra Barnard was there. There was all kinds of celebrities. I was just starstruck. I was just and but they came off, they opened up with I think it was Baby Lestrange was the song they started with, and she went in straight into Crazy on You. And the interesting thing about it was the guy who the original guitar, the guy who actually was playing guitar that night, his name was Howard Leese, and he's a good guitar player. But the thing I noticed was Nancy was taking the helm on guitar, and she was taking the helm, and she when she played Crazy on You, that whole opening, man, it was serious.
I love that. That's
I didn't realize. You hear that stuff. I mean, literally, I've been listening to it for years on the radio. You maybe see a little here and there. You see a little radio, TV, this, and you hear something on the radio, or you see it on TV. But I didn't realize what a good guitar player she was.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea. Unbelievable flipping guitar player. And Ann Wilson, my God, she can sing, man. She can sing. You know, the neatest thing, I think Edward was talking about this. When you're in a small club and you're watching a band, when you get a lead singer who can sing and has a belting set of pipes, Kevin Dubrow did this. you can hear them acoustically over the PA that you're hearing.
Yep. If
You can hear them. And so she would project. And when she was singing, she did it all throughout the night. They did everything. They did Magic Man, Barracuda. They did everything. They did every great song they had that night. And they did 2 shows. They were the same show back to back. And yeah, that was the first show I worked at the Whiskey. And they played that night. And then I didn't see them again for about a year and 2 months. And then at the end of 81, in September, I think it was, at the end of 81, they came back and did almost the same thing again. Almost the same deal again. Yeah, super cool.
That's a good story, man. Good stuff.
Very cool.
Charles, why in 1980 were they doing 2 shows at the Whiskey? Was it like a promo event for a record company?
You know what? I have no idea.
Before a major tour?
I have no idea.
They were a bigger than club band at that
Yeah.
point.
Well, they didn't have to play there. They did it, and it wasn't like for a birthday party. Like a lot of times when bands, like for instance, Dave Mason or Fleetwood Mac, they would do shows there in the Roxy, but it would be for a reason. There'd be like it'd be for a promo for a new album or maybe a birthday
is that
party.
what it was for? Was it a promo gig for?
I don't believe so. No,
Or
I don't
a
think it
warm-up
was.
show for a major tour.
It's interesting. They have a history at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and I'm not sure if it was with Mario or what it was, but when they decided they wanted to play a small club, they were in California, for some reason that's what they did.
So
And
that was
one, and I don't know any more about it than that. I really don't. I wish I
so
did.
that was like Springsteen with the Stone Pony in New Jersey.
Right.
I believe so. That's kind of the vibe I
That
got.
was kind of his club. That seems like maybe that was their club on the West Coast.
But I got a hug from Nancy when she left.
Wow.
I got a handshake from Ann. And I just let you know, the first 10 minutes after I met Nancy Wilson, I was totally ready to bear her love child.
Yeah.
The first trimester would have been rough, but I would have worked it out. And
I think we all had crushes on Nancy.
I love them both. I love them both.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's a great story. It's a good experience, Awesome experience for your first gig there,
It was it's funny, gig. That guy Mike, he ended up getting fired. The inevitable did happen because he was late. He's just always late. And what had occurred is he brought me and Jeff. It's funny. The only 2 guys who consistently were there were me and Jeff. And like the Royd brothers, I never even saw him again. I never saw him again after that. And I have other stories with those guys that I might tell another time.
The Royd
brothers.
Way good. They're way good. Those guys,
they were there
that night with those 2 guys. It was crazy, but I'll tell those another time. But me and Jeff were reliable for Mike. And so what ended up happening is there was a manager at that time who was managing the Whiskey. His name was Paul Dancer. Steve Rosen knows Paul Dancer.
Okay.
And Paul came up to me after about 9 or 10 weeks into working, doing a couple of nights a week there with Mike. And he grabbed me and pulled me outside. And he said to me, he said, "Listen, Mike's going to want to kill me for this, but would you be willing to come here and work as an employee for the Whiskey and for Mario if we let Mike go?" And he said, "Don't tell Mike I'm telling you this." And so I said, "You going to offer me a job here?" He says, "Yeah, sometimes it's 6 nights a week though." And I was like, "That's okay with me. I love this, So instead of working in 4 or 5 different places all the time, I pretty much just every 6 nights a week I worked at the Whiskey.
Wow.
And it was really cool.
That's not a bad gig, man.
Cool.
Amount of acts and people you saw and met.
I just want to know when it's going down on paper. When are you going to write your book, man? I'm serious. I already got your titles. Tales from Backstage.
Maybe when I turn 65 or something. I don't know. You
have to make sure a certain amount of people have already ascended on to the next universe Because, you know, with some of the stories, I'm sure, or you could just pick and choose which ones you could leave out, you know?
Yeah, that's really nice what you're saying, Tom. Thank you, bro.
Oh man, your stories, I would read that in a book in a heartbeat, dude.
Oh, I would read that.
Come up the highway in the fire lane and you're sitting between the Roy
Oh,
brothers.
dude,
like,
the way I told it
if
just
you
now was
write it the
sick.
way you tell it, that's it, dude. Sold. You should seriously do that, man.
You know where he got the badge? He got the badge from mail order. Today it would be Amazon, right? But no. In those days, you had to get it from the back of a magazine.
6 to 8 weeks.
When he looked back at me and he said, "No, man, I got it out of mail order." Oh, dude, I was about to die, dude.
That's great.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, it worked.
So fun,
you know,
it's
it worked.
So good. But it's the way you tell it, and it's every little part. It wasn't just getting there. It was the fact that he had the badge. You're sitting between the Roy brothers, like all of it, dude. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that's gold. I mean, for sure.
I'm glad, guys.
That's good.
I just can't believe you lived to that. Like, that's insane. Like, it sounds like you're telling me about a movie that you saw. You know what I mean?
One time I showed up at the club and there was a riot going on outside. A band from England called The Damned were touring America. And I remember I was telling you that story about the Plasmatics and Wendy O'William being naked on stage. Yeah. Well, the lead guitar player for The Damned got busted on stage by the fire marshal naked. That's one of the times they actually got busted. But there was a riot outside, 250 pissed off skinheads. They climbed the fire escape. They got on the roof of the whiskey. They were throwing bottles and rocks at the police. It was gnarly. I'll tell you guys that story sometime. It's a really good story. It'll take a minute to tell the whole thing, and you gotta tell the whole story.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta get those stories written down, man, or they're gonna be gone forever, man.
Oh,
because you've got amazing stories, but.
We'll just look back at.
Well, thank you for that story. That made my night, dude. I'm not just retell that story to my body.
Just pull from the recordings from the show. So that's.
Well, there you go.
We'll be able to hear them all again.
Guys, Heart was so big. You know, I can even. Well, we're friends. I can talk. First time I ever smoked pot, listening to Dreamboat Annie. It's an epic album. That album, the whole band and everything sits. It's solid with me.
Yeah.
Solid with me in the 70s, man. That was a very epic time. You know?
Definitely.
I'm curious real quick because I think we got to give it a pick away here, or maybe after we give a pick away, I want to know from all four of you guys what your favorite tune is. I know that's a really tough one, but if you got a desert island, pick one. But
can we do favorite song and favorite album?
Sure, if you want, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to give a pick away, though, right, Tony?
Yeah, let's give that pick away.
All right, we can do that.
Nice.
It's an easy answer for me, Tom. So I don't even have to think about it. So.
I figured you would know.
No. I mean the your question about favorite song and album. I don't have to think.
No. That's what I meant too. I meant I figured that you would know right away. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I know mine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I'm sorry. The way I said, I just meant that I wasn't sure what mine is, but I knew you would know what yours was.
There it is. There's the giveaway, folks.
Nice pick.
Yeah, it's a
pick.
Thinking caps on. Get your fingers busy.
Very easy heart question. Very easy. Get your thinking caps on. Win this heart pick. Nancy Wilson. Red Velvet Car Tour. All right.
Good luck, you guys.
Jay says he won't know it. Yeah, I'm sure you won't, Jay.
Very easy question. Very easy heart question. All you got to do is type fast. Really. It's very easy question.
All right, let's see.
All right, so let's do it. So, one question, if you're the answer, there's an email address down below where it says merch. Email me your name and address. I'll mail you this Nancy Wilson heart guitar pick out on Monday. Easy question. The first answer that we see gets this guitar pick. All right. All right, here we go.
Here we go, folks.
Name one of the 4 singles off the Heart debut album, Dreamboat Annie.
Oh, that is
Name
easy.
one. Come on now.
That's so easy.
Give it to me.
It's got to be quick. Hey, what's up, Jay? Jay Hoonan.
Jay Hoonan.
Jay, what's going on, man? How you doing, bro?
Killer musician, killer guitar player as well.
Christopher Live Sawa.
There you go, Chris.
There you go, Chris.
Awesome. Christopher, man.
Can I start real
Jeff K
quick?
was right behind him. Jeff K right behind him.
Can I start real quick on that and tell you what my favorite song and album is?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not that one. No, yeah. No, yeah, that album. That song. But with
Magic Man off Dreamboat Annie.
Track 1, Dreamboat Annie. That's my favorite. Because that was the first song that I ever heard in my life as a kid that I was like, now this is coming from like an 11 or 12-year-old. This is psychedelic sounding, like, you know, because I kind of heard that and I went backwards in music is the way I progressed.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit different year-wise that I didn't hear it when it first came out, you know, because I was only born in the end of 76. But so I would have been like 3 years old. But I mean, when in 1980, I would have been 3 years old. When it came out, I would have been not there. But I don't know. I just always loved that. To me, it was like this magical, mystical kind of sound to it. So that's my first
solo in it.
Yeah. But that's my gut reaction. I couldn't think about it too much. First track, first album.
Yeah. No, mine is same album, but
okay.
Crazy on You. My song.
I was gonna.
That's my song. Love
I
that
thought
song.
that was yours.
We all had that album.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is.
What's yours, Analog Kid?
My favorite song by them is Mistral Wind off of Dog and Butterfly. My favorite album is Dreamboat Annie. Honorable mentions, Little Queen and Dog and Butterfly.
Cool.
And really reaching the 85 pop record, self-titled. Because I saw that tour. That was the first time I saw them.
Yeah.
I mean, those are great albums.
I think, too.
They opened up with If Looks Could Kill.
Yeah.
Now, Analog Kid, do you think I've had this experience where if I see them live, it puts the music in a different perspective, and I go back and I listen to the album, I'm like, wow, I love the album now. So did you have that kind of experience?
Yeah, I mean, I had the record going into the show. They were all over MTV then anyway, and I liked the opening track, but I liked that they opened the show. Like, in my annals of thousands of concerts I've seen, a lot of the times you remember what they opened with. I don't know why.
Sure.
And on that one, I remember they opened with If Looks Could Kill. Because you got to come out with a real strong number to get people's attention.
Yeah, you can't come out with like a ballad. No way.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good song.
And If Looks Could Kill. What year? What year was that?
Was that 85?
85.
That's 85. That's okay.
But
the opening track.
Yeah.
They opened that tour with that song.
What about you, TK? What was your favorite song and album?
Mine was the MTV era.
Okay.
What About Love and those.
Nice. Yep. Never and Alone and all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah,
good ballads, great ballads. I mean,
really absolutely. Awesome, oh yeah.
Coolness.
Yeah.
Guys, we don't have a 5150 Roth era argument going on here, do we?
No,
because it's.
I never thought of them really in era so much as I have in the last week thinking about this show.
Charles,
it kind of is.
I'm thinking when you guys go see Wolfgang open for Guns N' Roses, there'll be a ton of Van Halen fans there, obviously. You guys need to make shirts that just say, it's all Van Halen, and just see if people come up to you and like make a comment.
I thought about that, Mom. You're absolutely
man.
right.
It's all about Roth, man. Like, it would just be hilarious. But you would know if you run into a cool person because they'd laugh and they'd be like, yeah, that's good, dude.
I was going to go out on a limb and show up in a Roth t-shirt and see what.
That would be great.
But I'm not that brave, man. I don't want that kind of abuse, because you're begging for it. So
I was talking to my buddy the other day, Charles. I said, I'm not that young. If like 25-year-olds come up to me, like, I'm out of luck. Like,
there you go. Me too. It's all good.
They'll give the old man a little bit of a break. Like, dude, come on, I don't even have any hair left. Come on, give me a break, bro.
Listen, guys, I know Tony can't hear us, so because he's busy. So I'll just say it now. I'm worried I'm going to have to save him and pull him away from the stage when he tries to get a pick from Wolfgang.
Old school Howard Leese. You can hear him?
He can hear you. Watch out, Charles.
I knew he could. I knew he could.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Charles, are you insinuating that Hart has two eras, the 70s and the 80s, like Van Halen has two eras?
That's what I kind of was just implying, yeah. And I call it this. I don't call it that. I call it, one is the beginning era, which is the 70s era. And that's the era I know. That's what I grew up on. And then I have the next era, which is the 85 MTV era. I think MTV actually saved that band. I think that the girls were able to put their music video abilities to good use. Yep. And some great songs. And so
revitalized
the two of those things.
Their two previous records didn't sell and they weren't drawing concert.
Yeah.
And that record was huge.
Exactly.
Nancy Wilson was there.
And Nancy had a hiatus, didn't she? Between the that and the 85 era.
She wanted it. She was raising a family, so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, guys.
Nice.
Check this out.
That's wow. I like that one.
Hart's had a few different members. One of which is this guy right here.
Yeah,
Gilby Clark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was so many. It was like
Mike Inez from Alice in Chains played bass with them for a while.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah. They had a lot. That's awesome.
Well, but I mean, it's weird. It's like the fact that you think that Michael McDonald is on a Van Halen tune. Like, that's just weird. But
that's a Mike Inez.
You know, great keyboard player, great piano player. So
Yep. That's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That's wild though, Mike Inez. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that tour when he played bass for them.
I like him.
And this is going to be your thumbnail.
Nice.
That's beautiful, man.
It's a nice heart pick. Heart pick.
Angelico.
Yep.
It's cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
That Charles, that ovation she had, that must have been beautiful.
Dude, I got to hold it for 3 seconds.
Oh, nice.
There's a little pass through between the stage door and the little catwalk. And as she came off stage for the second show, she pulled the guitar off because there was a big wall of people. I had my arms like this, and she signed. She was signing for a couple of people, and she
hands you the guitar.
I grabbed it for just a second and handed it to a roadie. So it went from my hand to this one. There was only like 2 roadies there with them.
That's awesome.
It was kind of weird because I said it before. I expected an entourage, you know.
What's the story about Nancy Wilson giving Eddie Van Halen an acoustic?
So she was talking to Eddie one time when they toured with them in the 80s, right? And she, he said to her, I like how you play acoustic. And then she said to him, well, why don't you play more? And he said, well, I don't have one. She's like, you don't have one? Mm-hmm. And so she actually went into her collection and gifted him one, and she went and got one out of her stash, gave it to him. And early the next morning, back in the hotels where they were staying, you could call room to room, right? So he calls her room, and he said, I was up all night writing this, and he played it for her over the phone. It's a nice acoustic piece, and I'm sure it was never released or anything, but she's like, it was just so beautiful. She was just so touched. But yeah, so she gave him his first acoustic guitar.
Nice.
Wow.
It's so awesome, I mean, that's just something so cool. He stayed up all night writing this song, and then the next morning he calls her and plays it over the phone, like, room to room. That'd be so cool. But yeah. So that's the story.
Wow.
You wouldn't believe that he didn't play, being classically trained pianist and all the other stuff. You think he might have gotten his hands on an acoustic at some point, but no. So
I just rewatched the '96 video when he went to Jason Becker's house,
Yeah.
And I forget what the titles. He played the 2 tunes. He played the one off of Different Kind of Truth that didn't come out for a long time, and then he played the one that what was the other tune he played? I think he plays one off of
George Strait.
I think he plays one either off of Van Halen 3 or what was the other tune he played? And then I watched the one again where he's playing the riff from, is it the Amsterdam riff in the studio? He's playing that old Kramer. So like 86 maybe. 85, 86, man. I love those off the cuff videos. I'd rather see those any day than a produced video.
So that and she just released a solo album, right? I think Nancy Wilson did. So one of the songs that, one of the songs is called For Edward, and it's an instrumental for Eddie. So that's like her returning the favor for him writing her a song. That's kind of cool, Definitely cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's what a great story, and just an awesome thing to have, to hear somebody write you a song, play it for you.
I'd love to hear that song, man.
Me too.
Well, but for her to give him that guitar,
right,
and then for him to write that song overnight.
That's so awesome.
Oh man.
Because he stayed up all night just writing it. You could totally see that, right? He's like, "Oh, this is cool," and this is just writing something all night.
Right.
So,
nice.
That's awesome. Awesome sauce.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Christopher, good man, awesome, bro.
Christopher Live Sour.
That's awesome,
yeah, man.
Nice, dude. I've got your information. I'll mail you this.
Did you see he said, can you send one of your own signature picks with it?
I will. I certainly
He wants that Fruitcake Tony pick.
Yeah, you got
I still want a Fruitcake Tony pick.
And Christopher said he's stoked too. So
that's so cool, Chris. Super cool, man.
Yeah, certainly, dude.
Yeah, man. So cool. Fruitcake Tony.
That's very cool, yeah.
Put that with the
Taylor Green, there's a giveaway every week.
Later, Sandra.
Bye,
you,
Sandra.
Feel better, babe.
Yeah,
Take care, Sandra.
Hard hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Feel better. All right.
So yeah, Tony, Taylor Green was asking if there's a giveaway next week.
There is going to be a giveaway next week.
Yes, there is.
Next week, we'll go ahead and spill the beans. Why not?
Who we doing?
We're hour 20 in it. Next week, we are spotlighting the great guitar player, Mr. Jake E. Lee.
Oh, heck yes.
Nice.
Riff master, man.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
We'll be giving away a handsome Jake E. Lee guitar pick.
Who else plays like chord voicings where you got to go like that? Do you remember the video where he's like, "No one plays this song right. I'm going to show you." It was a pretty recent video. It was if you see it, it's a Dragon Cartel video. He's got the bright red Dave Friedman full stacks, and he's like, "Did you?" They're like, "Did you get an endorsement deal?" He's like, "I don't give a shit about endorsement deals. I just want some loud freaking amps." And Dave makes good ones, so I told Dave to make me some. They made 50 or 100 of those, and they sold out. He said in like 3 hours.
Wow!
Like no matter what that guy does, everyone loves him, and it's like it's a tool. I don't care. But he sits there on the ground with like this amp on like freaking 10. He's like, no one plays it right, and he breaks that riff down. But he has his hand sitting there with when he's reaching up with that pinky for that note. And I'm like, yeah, you make it look easy. It's not that easy, Jake.
Wasn't it Bark at the Moon?
Bark at the Moon. That's the riff. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't play it. My fingers will not reach far enough to do it, so I fudge it.
Well, that's what most people do.
It changes the intonation of the note. The intonation changes because you're changing strings.
And that's exactly what he says in the thing. He goes, "You're not playing on the right string, so the intonation is thrown off." Exactly why he did it up there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't play it the right way.
If you're not Jakey Lee, try to do it while you're playing standing up, let alone play it live in front of people walking around, but standing up with a guitar on, you slung pretty low. Your hands like this.
Yeah. Well, you know, Warren DeMartini has really, really long. He has freakishly long fingers. They're weird looking, and he can go frets, man. He can go at least 1 or 2 frets in your normal.
I'm just gonna say this. So my buddy Corey, who's over here, he plays bass, but he'll play guitar too. But he can go from the 12th fret, and if there was, I don't have any 24 fret guitars, but if there was a 24th fret, he can go full octave. Wow. Because like, here's my hand. His hands are this much longer than my fingers, but he's only like an inch or 2 taller than me.
Well, Jake doesn't
big hands.
Jake doesn't have fingers like Warren does, and so they would literally they had this conversation on more than one occasion. I'm sure backstage at clubs.
Oh yeah,
they had it at the Whiskey where they would joke with each other in the dressing room, talking about how they could, you know. And Jake would literally he tells a story on YouTube about it, but it literally he lays his fingers across the front with his thumb and palm, and that way he's got the same reach as Warren DeMartini does. And I find that absolutely awesome. That is so.
Although, are you familiar with the jazz guitar player? He's out of Philly, Jimmy Bruno.
I've heard the name, but I'm not.
He's you know, internationally known in the jazz world, but he lives out of Philly. But it's funny because he's this short little dude, stubby little hands, fastest player I've ever seen. I mean, the guy's a jazz player, but if he wanted to go play some, you know, Marty Friedman or Jason Becker cacophony or speed metal symphony kind of stuff, he can pull that off.
He could do it.
His fingers are literally like little chubby fingers, but it's just literally he knows how to reach with each. He's not making the reach, he's jumping around. But like this guy could go 1st fret, 13th fret, 2nd fret, 14th fret. He would do these exercises where he jumped octaves. Then
he's compensating for his ability, right?
And I said, how? Because he taught a master class at the school I was at. I said, how do you do it? No offense, but you have. And he goes, I've got sausage fingers, you know? Yeah. He's like, I don't care. I got little sausage fingers, but he moves so fast. And he learned to compensate by doing hand shifts.
That gives me hope.
That fascinates me. It fascinates me.
But, I mean, look him up. The guy's like a shredder in the jazz vein. I mean, he's insane.
Will do.
You know?
Ben Tom, Randy or Jake?
See, historically, I almost want to say Randy. For me personally, it's Jake.
I say Randy.
Because I think Randy did a lot, but I preferred. I like some of Randy era riffs better, but I prefer Jake as a guitar player. So I prefer Randy as a musician, Jake as a guitar player. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my answer. I know
it makes sense.
Before the US Festival, I would have said Randy hands down. But
that karate red and black suit,
watching him play Mr. Crowley, good
armband things, right? He had his armband things tied on.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Jake can play.
Yeah.
He can.
And people underestimate Jake till they see him live or see a live video of him and they go, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that's not a double part on the album. He's doing this. Like
he's amazing.
Yeah.
I think they did
more Jake.
I'm sorry.
Ben
they did a show in the back parking lot of
Brendan said Randy. Tea Cake.
What now?
We have 2 Jakes, 1 Randy.
Oh, dude. Jake's an awesome player, but Randy, hands down.
I could have told you Tony was a Randy guy. I was pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm a Randy guy. So it's 2 and 2, or 2 and 3. You 3 are
2 and 2.
Who didn't
2
vote?
Bottoms are.
I had to vote Jake. I'm sorry. I
2
did.
tops are Randy.
What about you, kid? Are you not voting?
I'd go Randy, but I do like Jakey Lee.
You're the tiebreaker. Yeah, Red.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like a half. Mine is kind of a split vote.
No, you can't split.
I'm kind of a half point for each.
No splitting, Tom. No splitting.
I can't pick one between them. You know, that way because
you already picked.
The only differentiation between me was the Mr. Crowley solo. If it wasn't for that solo, I'd probably say Randy. But God, it was so good.
You already committed.
Okay, so
committed.
Oh, wait, but Analog Kid, you're saying I have to pretend this is the best way to say it nicely and to human beings. I have to pretend one of them was never, I don't want to say one of them was killed because one of them did die. So I don't want to be horrible. That's why I'm trying to work around that, but I messed that up. So anyway, I have to pretend one of them was just never born. So if that would happen, I might have to actually go Randy because I couldn't lose those songs. I couldn't lose those tunes.
You can't Blizzard of Oz.
But I'm sorry if I'm to go see him live, I want to see Jake every time. It's tough.
Guitar hack goes Jake, and Jay goes Jake.
Yeah.
If it's going to see him live, it's Jake every time for me.
Jakey Lee's very underrated.
I think
he is underrated.
That's the great thing about music. Everybody can have it.
You know who's more underrated than Jake? You know who's more underrated than Jakey Lee?
Alex Lifeson?
Nope, more than him.
Yes.
Dan Huff from Giant.
I don't know who that is.
Beast, exactly. You don't know who that is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
Unless you're like a nerdy guitar player, you probably wouldn't.
No,
Dan Huff is up there with Michael Landau.
I'm gonna have to Google that after the show now.
Said no splitsies. Did you switch?
Yeah, I had to switch. Yeah.
What's this nonsense about pretending people didn't get born?
You switch. Everybody switched.
Because you don't want to say that they died.
Everybody switched. Now everybody's Randy.
Tom, what was that name again? From John.
Oh, Dan Huff.
I'm gonna Google that later.
Huff. He played in
Huff. Huff, right?
He's probably played on thousands of songs you didn't realize because he's a studio guy.
Okay.
But his band was Giant. The other one, have you ever listened to the Raging Honkies?
No.
Oh, dude. Do you know Michael Landau? Plays in the Big Potato all the time, the guitar player. That's his band.
Oh, okay.
Back in his very creative but slightly a little too alcoholic days.
Okay.
Back in the 90s.
Good days. I got you.
When he still played a Tyler and he didn't go back to taking Fender's money. No offense, I love you. I love you, Michael Landau. But my buddy met him once and he said, "Great playing." Guy was up. To me. Those were his words.
Wow.
Like, horrible human being at the time, because I'm sure what he was going through. Great player. But he said he's since had met him and he goes, super nice guy and a great player now. But to me, that guy, the thing I love about Michael Landau is both him and Dan Huff, economy of notes. Like, the studio guy YouTuber, I mean, I call him a studio guy first, but Tim Pierce, he doesn't overplay. He plays what needs to be played. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is perfection. Like, my favorite Van Halen solos aren't they're the ones where it's got a couple parts to it, they're put together just right, and it finishes just with like a zinger.
Yeah.
Yep. Ice Cream Man,
It's a perfect solo.
That's what I think too. So we've gone from Heart to Van Halen.
Guaranteed.
All roads lead to Van Halen, baby.
They do.
All roads lead to Van Halen. That is the truth.
Speaking of Van Halen, just really too excited. This new Wolfgang tour has started this week. So we've had a couple of surprise warm-up gigs, and the Wolfgang GNR show is going on right now. GNR is winding down their set as we speak. Wolf's already played, but that's at Hershey Park, where I really, really, really wished that this guy was at. Lives a flat tire away from Hershey Park.
30 or 40 minutes.
That's too close.
Didn't happen.
Dude.
Didn't happen.
That's too close.
Sometimes you have to be a parent.
So yep. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
True.
I know, Tommy. I know.
It was a tough one because it was
so
scheduled
close.
such that I thought I was going to be able to up until like this afternoon. I thought I was going to be able to, and there was a lot of people in this area that are the kind of people that I don't get this maybe because I'm super frugal about money, but they'll buy tickets to something like that and then they can't go, and they're just like, well, I want to try and sell them, but if I can't, I can't. So they wait till a couple hours before, and there was literally like 20, 30 rows back for like $100.
Well, at least
Or if you just want to get in the
consolation.
stadium, they were only $20. They were $20, no tax, because they just wanted to get something. Because they had like, I think the guy had 11 of them and he couldn't sell them at the last minute. No, it's through StubHub. He had 11 tickets, $20 a piece. They had like field tickets, but the good tickets that were normally
at least
500 to 1,000, $100. Yeah.
Wow.
But
that's what Lindy Lou's going to do. She's going to be scoring a cheap seat whenever.
Oh, I would have been there too. I couldn't go because my son ended up being at home, so I didn't want to leave him here by himself. Anyway, another time.
At least Tom Wolf did a couple of warm-up shows.
I might still be able to score on like that because you realize, Tony, there's I think 4 more shows within driving distance for me, within like 2 hours or less. I think he has either 3 or 4 more shows.
Okay.
Cool.
There's 2 in New Jersey, 1 in New York, and 1 in Philly. No, 4 more, and 1 in it's either Washington or Baltimore. I live right in the tri-state area. I can get to I'm like Tony's equivalent, but in the north. I can get to so many shows because I live in southeastern PA. So I can get to Philly, New York, Baltimore, DC. Sometimes they'll play a club near the beach in Delaware. Not this show, but I mean smaller bands. If it was like just Wolfgang, you know. I think there is 5 shows though I could possibly drive to. The farthest being like 2.5 hours, I think.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so it might still happen, you know.
I hope it does, dude.
There's one next week, August 5th. That one's about an hour and a half away from me, East Rutherford, New Jersey. August 5th show. But that's a big show. It's a huge show. You'd have to a stadium probably show. Drive there at like 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon and start looking for some tickets.
We will see what all transpired in the Hershey Park show tonight.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses and Wolfgang.
Yep, I'm sure it was good.
Wolfgang's warm-up shows in Lawrence, Kansas. Now, on the show here tomorrow night, we're going to have a special guest.
Yeah.
A good friend of this show, Mr. Tyler Thomas, who lives in Lawrence, Kansas.
Tyler, I can't wait, man. Show. I can't wait. I want to hear those stories.
Let me show you this. And so he got to see Wolfgang on a one-day announced show in his hometown.
I want to hear him tell us too how he ended up getting those tickets, man. He must have been like bam on that.
Dude, it was sold out immediately. He went down there that night, bought a single off a guy outside.
Wow. So it's one of those things that as soon as they put it up like online,
there it is.
They put
right
as many
there.
orders as they could, and it was done probably. You know.
Yep.
That's insane.
Wow.
See, I think he should take all those and frame them like that. That would be awesome.
just frame it like that.
Yep.
He told me stories of Wolfgang handing him guitar picks from the stage.
Wow.
Yes. So
wow.
It being opening night, our boy Tyler Thomas has got the rarest guitar picks on the block here. Yes, nice. He does.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, here you go. Mike Johnson knows about Dan Huff. So he said, here you go. This will give you an idea. He said, Dan Huff's badass. Dan Huff is on so many country albums too. Yeah, like if you hear a ripping solo on like a country tune or like just like something random like Amy Grant and you're like, oh my God, that guitar solo was great. It's probably Dan Huff or a handful of maybe 4 or 5 people. But he said, Mike Johnson said he's on so many country albums. And then where was it? I missed it. Oh, I can't find the rest of it there. Okay. Oh, he said the entire VH1 album. He's talking about something else. But yeah, the country stuff, like you'll be shocked. It would be, because I'm not a huge modern pop or modern country fan. I like more old and kind of rebel country, you know. And but you would be shocked. You just someone come on the radio and then you'd be like, damn, that's a ripping guitar solo. You know, it's got like the stereo chorus and like.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
So Wolfgang played a couple warm-up shows. He played tonight in Hershey near you, Tommy.
Yep, outside.
A couple days from now,
East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Tuesday he plays Boston's Fenway Park.
Oh, that's right, Fenway.
That's the next show, and then
they go
a couple days after that he plays MetLife Stadium.
That's a huge stadium.
And these
where's that one?
That's Jersey.
East Rutherford.
Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one. August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think the one after that's close to me too. What's after East Rutherford? Is it Baltimore? Or is it Maryland somewhere?
I don't know if that's a headline show that he's doing. There's
one. Yeah, there's one near me he's doing that's just him.
There's like 9 headline shows scattered all out, and this tour goes from now. This run goes to end of October.
I mean, if I don't see him,
there's 9 headline dates that are scattered about all those dates. Yeah, at least one a week upcoming. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so he comes back in September. I could see him again, September 11th and 12th in Atlantic City at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. 2 shows, 2 nights in a row.
Excellent.
And then he comes back again September 26th for an outdoor show, Baltimore, Maryland. It's like, an hour from me. And there was one more. Anyway, yeah, I got a lot of opportunities coming up.
Excellent.
Yeah. We are going in Raleigh at the end of September, so
nice.
It'll be here soon enough. Yeah. All right. So we're an hour and a half into things. All right, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be going to see him in East Rutherford because that's a GNR show. At least I won't be buying a ticket ahead of time. You know what the pit tickets are for the pit?
Probably a lot.
$380. Not scalper price. This is Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
That's not bad, though, dude.
Your ticket is going to say, you know what? I can buy a lot better stuff for $380 than to be in a sweaty pit. I'd rather be 10 rows back and have an actual seat. A pit where you got to stand and it's $380. They used to sell those for cheaper than the seats behind them. Like, when did the pit go up in price, or am I just way out of the game? Have I not been to a big show in too long? I go to too many small club shows.
Yeah, I haven't been to a big show like that.
But like the pit was always like, even when the stadium tickets, the last big show I went to were $100, and that was quite a while ago. They were $100 for like decent
50.
seats.
The
pits were 50,
right.
$60. So why is the pit $380 and a seat behind it's like
this closer?
Closer you get, more.
Yeah,
pit.
What?
You can catch a pick in the pit.
That's true, yeah. But I mean, to stand for what's the whole show with opener, break in between going to be 4 hours? And
it's for the younger kids. It's for those younger kids, Tom.
And for Tony to catch a pick.
That's right. Hey.
But I just looked at now. I was shocked. 380. Like the pit at Hershey, because it's a much smaller area, was I think 220 or 240.
And Tom, so that's base before service charge.
Yeah, plus fees. You're right. Yep.
Nothing shocks me anymore,
plus fees.
Nothing shocks me.
Here's my thing. I will pay for an experience, but I would rather take my best friend, myself, and my mother and father out to a great dinner for $400 than buy myself one ticket in a sweaty pit. Life choices, that's all. You know, if it was a seat for that amount of money, maybe, but to stand, I ain't standing for $400. I'm sorry.
That's pricey for standing.
No.
Usually when you stand, it's the most inexpensive seat you're going to pay for.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, But anyway, section 3, which is the best behind the actual pit, is only on resale, and they're $1,764 for a third row. Sorry.
That's crazy.
First row.
That's crazy.
Section 3. So the first row, but you still have a pit in front of you.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So you pay $1,700. Wow, that's awesome.
Dirty 30.
$1,700 if you want a chair, Charles. And
that's
an expensive seat.
When my kids got to a certain age, they started dragging me along to concerts, and I started going to their shows. I mean, I've seen a lot of bands that I normally wouldn't see because they're out of my age range. Bands like Weezer and Avenged Sevenfold and Skillet and Stone Sour, right?
I love Skillet.
Yeah, man, I've been fortunate. But what they would do is they like the lawn. They want to stand. And about 4 years ago, when I'm 59 now, so I was standing for long periods of time, even a year or 2 years ago at shows. But I grabbed him about a couple of months ago, seriously, and I said, "Look, guys, get me a freaking seat when we go to these shows. Would you do that for me, please? I don't care anymore. Just get me a seat so I can enjoy the show." And so they did. That's what they did. So Judas Priest is not the first show that I've set with my kids at, because I've stood at a lot of shows with my kids, but maybe only the second or third. And I've seen a lot of concerts with my kids. Dozens. Well, not dozens, but a lot.
Charles, if you sit down and the person in front of you stands up, then you have to stand up.
Yeah, that's cool, though, because you can always sit back down.
Especially if he's seeing something that it's his kids' music that he's not like 100% focused on, you can sit down and take a break.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Me and my son, Danny, went to a big concert about 6 years ago. I wish I could remember what it was. But there was 2 stages, and there was I believe there was 9 to 10 bands on each stage. It was an all-day affair. It was all day long. And we got there in the morning, and and it's on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. We went and found ourselves on the video. Several videos people posted, and I stood there. I realized I had stood there for 14 hours on my feet, and I hadn't done that in a long time, and I'm too old for that crap, guys. It's just over. All right, it's over. And but I sucked it up, man. I sucked it up, and I took it and did it. But I don't want to do that anymore.
I only did that once, when I was over the age of where I didn't want to do it anymore. I did Wembley Stadium, an all-day show, but it was like Lenny Kravitz, Aerosmith, like all these huge bands. But I was standing like 25 feet from the stage, but like in the hot sun, Wembley Stadium hot sun for hours.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, I went up with who I was there with at the time, and just went up to our stands, which was literally like took me 30 minutes to get up to the seats, and I'm like, I'm done with the field.
Yeah. I want comfort now. I just do.
Who was the headliner, Ben, Tom?
Aerosmith. Yeah. So
let me show you guys these pictures. Our boy Tyler Thomas at the Lawrence, Kansas show. He took these from his vantage point at the front of the
Good Lord, man.
Can't get closer than that without being on stage.
Yeah.
Wow. You can see
That's
his pedal board.
crazy.
You can see the amp he's playing through. Look at that EVH amp in the background.
Does he play like an EVH3 amp or one of those iconic
I can't tell.
unreleased amps? It looks like it's one of those VH, like the EVH, the third iteration or whatever. You know, it has still that silver circular logo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Tyler, this is a great picture.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Check this picture out. Those top two are.
Look at the price, man.
The black and the white are the Wolf picks that Wolf gave him.
They got the
green one is the bass player, and the skull one is the guitar player that plays with Slash.
Nice.
Yeah, and Miles in that band. Yeah. Yeah, but big score for Tyler Thomas.
Yeah.
On opening night of the Wolfgang tour, man, dude.
That's a once in a lifetime pick, buddy.
He's gonna be right here on Halenville tomorrow night.
Very cool. Very cool.
And he's gonna talk all about the show and how it happened, and that little show in that little place was sold out instantly, and he just went down there, and that's how close he got.
That's pretty damn close, man.
That's pretty close.
That's awesome.
And got absolutely.
I'm looking forward, Tyler. Looking forward, buddy.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
All right, kids.
I gotta work tomorrow.
Oh, you're working tomorrow too?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We are going to shove off here.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for
being
hanging out.
here. Congratulations, Christopher Live Sour on the big win tonight.
You rock, Christopher.
I'll be mailing you that out Monday. Thanks everybody for being here. Yes.
It is, Rick. It is overrated, but gotta eat, pay bills, and do stuff.
It is. And for those of you Van Halen fans, look at that.
Love it.
Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Mr. Tyler Thomas, who was at the opening night Mammoth show in Lawrence, Kansas, will be with us. Yeah. We'll talk about those two shows. We'll talk about the Hershey show. And yeah.
I wonder if anyone was live streaming the show from Hershey tonight. Going like Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat.
Is there anything on YouTube yet that we can watch?
I'm
sure.
It's been a couple of days. I imagine within 3 or 4 days there should be some.
There's probably something right now.
It'll be next morning. It'll be in the morning.
There'll be some by tomorrow morning.
As soon as they get home.
You'll wake up to some good stuff.
Good.
I'm sure.
Because especially if they're at the concert, they're most likely shooting it on a phone. So they're not going to edit it. They're just uploading the thing immediately. So by the time you wake up in the morning, it'll be done. It'll be up.
You'll see some good stuff in the morning.
Good
deal. I think. Yeah. So.
You guys in the chat, take care, man. We love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yes, folks.
And as Christopher Live Sour says, tits.
That's
it. Rocks.
And we'll be right back here next week for another episode of Show Me Your Pick. Jake E. Lee next week on the program.
Gonna be good. Gonna be a good one.
Jake E. Lee.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Black Label
That's
Society.
right. All right, kids. Thanks for being here. Have a great weekend.
Rock on, everybody. Be safe.
Take care, man. Be good.
Nice.
Yep.